Yo, how is it going, everybody? Today we are here on another live. We got Lord in the house. We got a newcomer named Ryan, and then we've got Domenick, and then NIKKINOO News, and then me. And I guess I'll go first to introduce myself. My name is Bert, and I come from the channel Food X Bert on YouTube. And I've been traveling the world for like 9 years now. I've been living in China and all over Southeast Asia for like on and off for the past 9 or 10 years. And I just love to travel and explore the world. But unfortunately, with this virus thing, Trump brought me back here. He said America was going to be the safest place. And I came back trusting Trump. But unfortunately, Trump was wrong. And we ended up being the most infected country in the United States. And that's why I got into politics. Anyways, I'm not even a politician type of guy, but I cannot believe what happened to our country. So I had to do something about it. So Nikki, you're next.
Hi. All right. Well, my platform was built on political satire, comedy, trying to, I don't know, not educate, but just kind of bring people aware to what's going on in current events with comedy and humor. So that's kind of how I started. I also have a disdain for the what's going on in the White House right now. I mean, I kind of feel bad saying that now with everything that's going on. My husband said it's a good thing because I'm empathetic. But anyway, so that's my platform that I'm working on. And I love my followers. So I always throw them so much love and try and keep them in the mix of everything. So that's the platform I'm working on now. So yeah. Okay, someone else go.
That's great. Ryan, you can go next if you want.
Yeah, thanks, Bert. Yeah, my name's Ryan Shead, and I just want to thank y'all for having me first off. But my platform really is based on myself. Unlike Bert, I am planning on getting into politics because my wife asked me one day, well, what are you going to do about it? And I said, well, I'm going to get a seat at the table and run for office. So I thought the best way to do that was to get in social media and get my message out there, start finding like-minded folks that I could speak with, and we could share ideas and things like that. So on Twitter, I'm on there quite a bit, and I just got on TikTok, which is where I met Nikki. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here. Looking forward to what's next. But I also hate Trump, like the rest of us. Like, I don't hate anybody. I try hard not to hate anybody, but I hate that man. I'm sorry.
He's a sociopath, and he doesn't care if you hate him. He just loves to do what he does. He does everything he wants.
Yeah. We'll get into that. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. Lord, would you like to introduce your channel?
Yeah, I'm Lord Timothais. People know me. I am the social justice wing of the social media. If you are being racist or you find someone being racist, you send them to me and we take care of it. That's literally the gist of it. I've gotten into politics, obviously, through the, the pandemic. I just have this one thing to say about Trump, though. I told you so.
Right.
I just told you so. I told everyone this was going to happen, and I told them when this happened, I was going to say it. So I'm saying it. I told you so. That's all I got.
Yeah, no, I was just hitting my head, like, just the fact that Trump actually ended up getting it. I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked because I was expecting him to get it many months ago, but he finally got it now. Okay, Domenick, you're next. Tell us about your channel and what you do on the platform of TikTok and YouTube.
Okay, basically YouTube is just started, so I don't really have too much on there. TikTok, it's just basically getting the word out against Trump, and basically trying to get him out of office, give the people the right information, and try to steer them away from all the BS that Fox News is giving them. And like I said, I'm there basically to help people get through everything, give them a place to come to, hang out, whatever's on their mind. We are a blue room, so we don't have a bunch of haters coming in there. I have the best moderators on TikTok that basically, if you come there and you're not there for the right reason, you're not going to be there. You're not going to be bullying people, starting trouble with anybody. one of my friends right now is a nurse. She contacted me last night, and she's not really doing too good. She has COVID. I'm praying for her. She was talking about maybe having to put on the ventilator. So prayers to her and her family, and to everybody else out there that's going through this right now. And yeah, I don't hate him. I try not to hate anybody, but Trump is very hard not to hate. And what came down on him is something that, you know, like he said, told himself. I mean, he should have been paying attention. He should have been doing the right thing from day one, and he didn't. So, I mean, now he's going to have to pay for it. And, you know, we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much it.
I was just really shocked that Trump ended up being, you know, he finally got it out of all these different, like, chances of him getting it. Because many months ago, we had, like, Dr. Fauci that was exposed and other people that ended up being exposed. It was just really, he always missed it by just a hair. He was like, he ended up not getting it. But this time, I mean, he's just too cocky. He decided to get on a plane with someone that wasn't feeling well. I guess whatever her name was, his advisor.
Hicks.
Yep.
You know, it's actually
Haley, or what's your first name? Hicks.
Hope Hicks. It's actually turning out that Trump may be the one who gave it to her.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's been sick since Monday. They've been sitting on this. So last night they had to make a statement because he caught a fever. And that's why he's gone to Walter Reed right now. He's got a fever over 100.
So he went to the debate?
Yes. And he knowingly went to that fundraiser in New Jersey, knowing he had COVID-19, knowing he was sick. This is the part that's
crazy.
That makes you wring your hands about this guy. He willingly puts people in danger on purpose.
Yep.
Did you guys see him going on? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you guys see him going on to the helicopter to be transported?
I missed it.
I saw him.
Because all of these people went on this in very small enclosed space. I was just watching this before, and all they had on were masks. Some of them were cloth. Some of them were, had the little ventilator thing on the side. But if anybody should be getting on there, shouldn't they be completely and utterly covered like they do at the hospitals? I mean, these people at the hospitals are completely encased in like hazmat suits, and these people are getting on an enclosed space with somebody that is COVID positive with a mask, and that's it. Like, that's crazy.
And you know what else too? No one is talking about how many of the Secret Service are positive for COVID-19. It is run through the agency, and they've kept it quiet. They didn't say anything. They've kept it quiet. So this is going to be more of a scandal. Do be clear. I do not want him to die from this. He needs to face the sexual allegation charges. He needs to face the tax charges. He needs to face everything that's coming his way. But I do want him to suffer. I want that tube all the way so deep it comes out the other end so he feels it. I do want him to suffer.
Yeah,
people have died behind this poor decision making. He needs to suffer from it. He does.
Trump, he's been downplaying it for so long, and I honestly feel like I don't want him to die either, but he needs to show his fans, his following, how bad this can get. He needs to be, as hopefully sick as possible so that his fans take this more seriously, and we can have a winter. Like, we've got a couple more weeks of fall/summertime. But once we hit wintertime, we're going to be Wuhan in every city in America, and they don't realize this.
Yep.
I mean, literally, it's bad. And if people don't take this seriously, we're going to literally be infected like Wuhan style, all the hospitals in America, because it's getting cold. It's going to get really cold soon, and we will get to herd immunity very fast in the wintertime, and it won't be pretty.
Not to monopolize the conversation, but I just want you guys to think about this because I'm going to be dashing out soon. Think about this for a second. Ivanka kisses her father. Melania kisses her son goodnight. These little tests they take every day, they're false negatives and false positives all the time. They are not foolproof. There's Jared Kushner, all of these guys, whether they sit on this truth or not, there's more in this White House that are positive than they're willing to tell us. Kayleigh McEnany literally lied through her teeth today. lied through her. I mean, she lies every day, but literally lied
every day.
through her teeth in this case. I mean, she literally, with those big doe eyes, lied to my face. Come on. Now, you know, Jared, I mean, look, we saw Hope Hicks leaving with the three. They were all locking arms like they were skipping to the land of Oz or something. I'm telling you right now, if Jared Kushner doesn't have this and Kiss Ivanka and giving it to her and giving it, I mean, it's sad, sure, but this is what happens when you are telling America that this is not real. This is what happens to you. And they need to suffer for it. They do.
And none of them were wearing masks. And Trump didn't want anybody in his helicopter to wear a mask or the whole week. And Trump was the one who was sick. So honestly, it was ridiculous. Probably Trump who got everybody sick.
Yes, he's patient zero. My bet is on him.
But let me ask y'all a question. Does it, thinking about all of that all of the resources they have and all of the people that they keep away from him, I mean, all of his interactions are cleansed every day, right? So if he still caught this and all of the people around him are catching this, why is it so hard? Why are we still having such a hard time getting the public to believe that it's even worse for us? Like if the president caught this, going to the store, nothing is safe. And well, I don't want to say it's not safe, but there's a risk to it all right now. And that's what we need to take from this. But what you guys said, this is a God serious question. Do you think that it's even possible for this man, even if this is horrible, he ends up on a ventilator and he makes it, I bet you he still wouldn't come out and say he was wrong. I've never seen him say he was wrong. Do you guys think he was?
No, I don't. He doesn't have it in him. And I hope this teaches him empathy. I hope this experience teaches him empathy. And I'm sure if he has it, he expresses it in small doses to his own family. He doesn't know how to do it for others.
No,
he just doesn't.
The thing that drives me crazy is that they didn't even tell the Biden, camp about what was going on, and they knew about this before the debate. So don't you think they should have come out and said this before, and instead of having a chance of Biden getting sick?
100%.
I mean, it's absolutely insane.
Let me
Go ahead,
so
Nikki.
I'm sorry, honey. So here's the thing. If you guys remember at the debate when he did the whole mask thing, okay, where he was saying, "Oh, I wear it when I have to wear it," and he says, "Oh, we've all been tested." If he was already showing symptoms on Monday, if that is true, then wouldn't his test have come back positive? Like, this seems crazy to me. Like,
Nikki,
and all of his family walked in there. Yes, they had masks on when they were parading down the aisle, when they sat where they were, and they took their masks off. Everyone else there had a mask on. All of those mofos were all of those people were sitting there with no masks on. And it was like, it made me so mad. Like it infuriated me. And now with the onset of this, everybody was exposed in that room now, Joe Biden included.
You know what, Nikki? I gotta say, he was probably tested positive while we watched the debate was going on, and he just didn't say anything.
I agree.
I thought the same thing.
I think he was a bald-faced. He was a bald-faced liar. Look at how red he was. He was sweaty. I mean, that room was climate controlled. He was sweaty and nasty looking, and all belligerent. I mean, just something was up.
Now that you look back at it, that does make a lot of sense, doesn't it?
His behavior was, he was freaking unhinged. He was unhinged.
Yep.
I mean, come on.
And I was talking to Nikki about this earlier. The kicker is that all day today in my comments, because I did a video about, I don't, like, same thing Lord said, I don't hope he dies, but at the end of the day, it's karma. It's karma justice. I mean, it is what it is. And all day they've been saying, well, us Democrats need to stay classy. We need to stay above the belt. We need to do this, in order to get those independent and Republicans that are on the fence. And I had to point out, I said, if they're still on the fence now, now, today, then you think that us being nice is going to do it? Yeah. I think that they want to see us push back. They want to see us get angry and say, this is wrong. This is BS. Like, no. And so all morning, that's what I was dealing with before I talked to Nicole. It's just, I don't understand how to get these people to understand that those people that are on the fence, they want to see some strength from our side, our party, the liberals, whatever you want to call us. I'm a Democrat, but you guys call yourselves what you want. But if you're on the other side of Trump right now, I think they want to see some strength. I think, like they want to see people calling this out for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong.
No, you're not wrong. The blatant hypocrisy is amazing to me. For example, I just ventured over to the far right side of TikTok today. If you don't know how to get there, just say something positive about Trump and they'll find you. You would not believe. You would not believe. They've turned into snowflakes. Oh, we're wishing him well. Oh, the Democrats are all dancing on his grave already.
Yeah, you're not praying for him.
It is just ridiculous, the hypocrisy of it all. And just last week, you were telling me to go and kill myself. Come on.
Yep.
I just don't understand it. And you know what? Just like you said, you're right. We need to be powerful. We need to show our strength in numbers. And I want Biden to just keep going on his campaign because Trump asked for everything he got. Period.
Yep. And Biden handled that well, by the way. Being attacked with your kid, like the way that they did with the drug problem and all that, man. That spun me up, man. And I saw his lip start to quiver, like he wanted to attack him, and I give him mad credit for not doing it. Yeah.
It couldn't have been me. Oh my God. I would have. Yeah, those were fighting words. Those would have been fighting words. Yeah.
I saw that.
I said it for him after the debate was over. I did a video.
I saw Biden actually said that the Biden camp said that they were going to take down all negative ads against Trump since he's in hospital, which I think was kind of classy.
And that's the thing. There's ways to stay classy.
Until Trump starts tweeting from his hospital bed that Biden's weak. You take your foot off the gas, and this is what happens. You turn your back on Trump, and this is what happens. I'm telling you right now, I don't think you should do it. I don't think you should do it. Keep going. Steady the course, my friend.
But at the same time, we have a president who is doing the work for us, arguably. I mean, do we really need to put a lot of negative ads out there every day online? I feel like we're doing it for him. So, let him back up. And
that is true.
And take the high road. We got this.
My thing is that Biden's strength is empathy. So by showing them that he can back off a little bit and not putting himself out there to be like such a hard ass, it actually might work better for him.
I agree, and I think it. Again, he that nice little zinger he did. Like, will he just shut up, man? Like, as long as he keeps. Taking that approach that you're talking about, Domenick, I think that he'll be able to keep, throwing those jabs every once in a while because he's not doing it all the time. And he's only doing it when Trump gets like really crazy. Like, dude, will you just stop?
Yeah. Well, I feel like sorry. I feel like during the debate watching it, like I'm sure all of you were feeling this. I wanted to punch the TV. I wanted to throw stuff at the TV. I was yelling. I scared one of my daughters away completely, yelling. But it was, I think Trump's tactic was to set Biden off. Now, we all know that Biden that he was born with a stutter. And he worked really hard to be able to overcome that stutter. And anybody that comes at you when you get frustrated, somebody with a stutter, it comes back. And I think that was his whole tactic, which was disgusting. And it was such a poop show. Sorry, Bert, I'm not going to swear out here.
You're so good. You guys are being so good today.
It was a poop show. But I felt like, so many Trumpster people were coming at me when I would make videos, and they're like, he didn't even have anything to say. Biden didn't even go. That's because Trump wouldn't let him. He was the whole time. Biden's trying to it's like fighting off a tiger and trying to have a conversation with somebody. Okay, I mean, who can do that? I mean, us women can multitask, but not like that. I mean,
he did great. He did great considering. He did great. He really did. He looked at the camera and he talked directly to me. I felt he was talking directly to me while this man was acting like a clown over here. And actually, I think he called him a clown.
He did.
He
He did. I loved it. I
And
freaking loved it.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Biden
He
even
never
said
lost
it.
his composure, not once. He stuttered maybe a little bit, but if you're going to call my son a drug addict and not let me explain how he worked himself through it, which he did masterfully and made Trump look like an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, it just scored more points with Americans. It totally did.
Well, it did. And you know, I mean, I'll take the opportunity to say it. Like I said in the video on my TikTok, you know, I had an issue with pain medication 10 years ago, you know, and it was due to a lot of things. But, you know, at some point it gets out of control. But it takes way more strength to say, you know what, I have a problem and I don't want to let this take over my life anymore. And it always takes way more strength to say, I have a problem, I need help, than it does just continue down the path that you're on. So I just felt for Trump to take that and use that particular thing. And then also to say, I don't know who Bo is. I don't know. Everybody knows who Bo Biden is. Come on. You know what I mean? It just, it was very classless. It was below the belt. It was one of the worst things I think he could have said, you know, in just making it way too personal. Way too personal.
Well, he had nothing. He had no substance. He had no facts. There was no policy. So it was just attack. He attacked his college. He attacked his children. That's all it was, all night long. And then on top of the lies, on top of the what he did and who said, and it was always they, them, or us. It was never anyone specific. This guy has a tell. He has a definite tell when he doesn't know what the hell he's even talking about.
Yes, he does.
And if you don't know what the tell is, first of all, he uses his hands. Yeah. And because you know he's a horrible poker player, and then he talks about what we've done and what they said we've done. It's always they and them. Who are the they and they say? I'm always still trying to figure this out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, listen. I am sorry. It's conversation is so great, but I got to dash.
Lord.
My in-laws are 90. They're 90, and I know when I get over there. I know when I get over there, it's probably going to be like, can you get those can of peas from the top shelf? But I still got to do it. Still got to do it, man.
So, Lord, let's plug your channel really fast. Talk about your channel right now, just in case someone that's new in the stream.
Well, my YouTube channel is just basically an offshoot of TikTok, since TikTok's only 60 seconds. I just further whatever I'm talking about onto YouTube because it's 30 minutes longer. And I just cover everything from politics to array of everything. But basically it's politics and racism on the internet. So that's basically what I'm about.
Love you for what you do, man.
There you go. Thank you. Appreciate it. And now my focus, of course, now is bad policing, because there's a slew of videos that have been coming out from years ago. And there's a case coming up in Louisiana. Maybe you guys have heard of it. There's a cop, you can see it on my Instagram page. There's a cop who brutally beat someone, and 7 other cops were involved, and they beat him to death while he was cuffed. And one of the cops, now that the video has surfaced, one of the cops has killed himself, and now it's a big court case, so I'm going to be following that.
I remember reading the cop that killed himself. I did read that one.
Yeah. So, you know, they lie, just like they did with Breonna Taylor. They lie on their police reports, and then if you have to lie, then obviously you did something wrong.
Yep.
And then, of course, you get 48 hours to get your story straight with your policeman's union, and that's what's wrong with policing. They are allowed to police themselves to get their story straight when they do something wrong to civilians.
Yeah, they coach each other.
It's just wrong. The unions are what's wrong with holding cops accountable for their bad policing. It doesn't matter what color you are. It happens to be black and brown people mostly, but it happens to everyone. Bad policing is bad policing.
Yep,
I agree.
It's horrible. So listen, I'm going to go. Thank you guys. Follow me on everything. Buy merch. Nikki, I'm buying merch from you.
Oh, yay!
I'm waiting on my mug.
I gotta check out your merch site too. Do you sell glasses?
Actually, no. I just t-shirts, mugs, shopping bag. You know what? Just go check in the bio. It's all there.
I will definitely, and I'm going to buy some.
And don't get it twisted. I don't want Trump to die, but I am going to be petty as a mother beep. I'm just going to be petty. I am.
You're not alone, my friend. You're not alone.
And look, good to meet you, Ryan. Okay, I saw you.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow you, I think.
Yes.
Ryan,
if I don't. And I started following you, XYFCenter, because you're something else too.
Lord.
Yeah, you guys are crazy. You know,
I appreciate you, man.
Nikki, you have so much material. All I just start doing is duetting you.
Yep.
Because I just rack up the likes, just duetting stuff that you do, because your stuff's crazy.
I love you, baby.
It's true. And Bert, listen, you do what you do.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So listen, I got to go, guys. All right. Have a good weekend.
We'll
Okay, see you, Lord. See you on Tuesday.
All right. All righty. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, so anyways, it was great to have Lord. And yeah, I mean, I've got some little clips I've got for talking about some, I've got some healthcare clips that I didn't actually play yet last week, but I figured we can also talk a lot. We've got so much to talk about. I mean, this whole Trump thing is just blowing my mind. The fact that he's going to the hospital. Does anyone know anything about what's going on, like the current news? Because I haven't been watching too much of it.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead, X. Honey, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's okay.
No, go.
No, well, from what I heard, he had a slight fever and he had some cold symptoms, and they were bringing him there just, for a couple of days to keep, pay attention, have the doctors around him in case anything comes up.
The sad thing is that the normal Joe Schmo that gets coronavirus waits until the last minute to go to the hospital because they might not have health care. So they wait as long as possible. They finally go to the clinic, and by that time they have a fever. Maybe they're having trouble breathing. They can't quite get a full breath in. They're like this. I mean, this is pneumonia, an extreme pneumonia that is completely contagious. They didn't even know they had coronavirus. Back in March, you had to wait hours in line to get this. And whose fault was that? It was Jared Kushner's. Jared Kushner was in charge of the pandemic relief team back in like early March. And he said, let the blue states go. Let the blue states just have it. And he didn't think that the other red states was going to get infected. He thought it was just going to stay in blue states because it only affects Democrats. And I think Jared I hope that he gets coronavirus. Jared is evil.
He is evil.
He's Damien.
But now
I saw that video.
But Bert, you brought something up it kind of just gives me another question, which is if they're taking him to the hospital, but the kind of resources he has on Air Force One that follow him around, I mean, I got to think that if he's being taken to the hospital with the kind of medical resources that he has available in the White House and around him, that it's more serious than what they're saying. That's my personal opinion. It's based on nothing but my opinion and what's come out so far.
For me, I'm going to touch on that really quickly. In seeing this now, when I woke up this morning, I don't know if you saw the videos, of course, people on the West Coast, Ryan and I were talking about this today. People on the West Coast were like, it's breaking news. I wake up 6 hours later. I'm like, I get up and make a video. But when I had a moment to think about it, it was like, is this a ploy? Is this something that's fake? And then I started thinking about all of the negativity that could come from it on his side. And I was like, no way. But I don't think he would do that. I don't think he would ever admit to a weakness as to like the COVID, which is like sick in our brains to think about. But now I'm thinking, is this some sort of like, I don't know, like but it all comes down to the fact that it's crazy that we can't trust the leader of our country, that we are so put off because all he does is lie. Is he lying? Is he not? Is he lying? Is he not? Holy crap. It's insane. We should know in all certainty what is going on at all times, and nobody is. There are all these theories now about he's not sick or he is because he lies all of the time, and it shouldn't be that way. And it's driving me crazy because I want to know one way or the other.
I agree. That's all I got in my comments when I put it up, that it was fake. I got so many comments saying that this is just a ploy to take the heat off of him so he doesn't have to do the debates.
Yep.
I would really hope that that's not a tactic they would use, but God knows, I wouldn't put anything past them.
Well, and I'll give you one.
he had not denounced, the white supremacy, and he was getting a lot of bad press with that. He had everything going on. The debate he did horrible at. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the October surprise pops. So I mean, Nikki, I don't know. I'm telling you, but you like you said, you can't really tell because you can't trust them. You can't trust the people that are around him. You can't trust him. So is this real or is it fake? God knows. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. I don't believe that stuff. But in this White House, in this administration, you never know. You never know what's going on.
Hello.
Yep.
Ryan, what were you saying?
I'm sorry.
Well, no, brother. I was just going to touch on what you were saying, which was the craziest one I heard today. I think it was on Twitter, was that he's setting up to fake his own death so that he can retire to Moscow.
Oh my God, you told me that.
And the sad thing is that almost everybody that I've told that to does this. They go,
Exactly.
Like, it's not that unbelievable, right?
Think about it.
Michael Jackson might have done that. We don't know.
I heard he's down in Mexico somewhere. I don't know.
I heard he's in Hawaii or something like that.
Probably better than Mexico.
Oh my
He's
God.
seeing
It's
the
just
right
not
on
that
the wall.
crazy. Yeah. Exactly. Because here's the two scenarios that, if you really think about it, if you're thinking like just a true evil person, the two scenarios is either he loses the election and he resigns and has Pence pardon him, or he fakes his death and disappears so that he never has to answer for anything that he's done.
Yep.
And it just really sucks that, because I love a good conspiracy theory. I love, who killed Kennedy, that kind of stuff. But it just sucks that we're at a position or a point in our country where our society is literally looking at the president of the United States and going, is he or isn't he telling the truth? Is he or isn't he doing this for personal gain? Is he or isn't he doing this so he can get away with something? I can't believe that we're actually talking about the president of the United States right now. As a veteran, it's so disheartening to me. Today has been very eye-opening for what for what our country truly does think about him, because it's not been half and half. Majority of people are going, I don't know if this is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's true. Yeah, I agree.
We got Abe in the house. Abe, how are you doing?
Hey.
Hi. Sorry, it went
It
to spam, so pardon me for not automatically checking spam. I was too busy obsessing on the fact that our president is getting a little dessert, as it goes. Just dessert.
Yeah, so Abe, introduce yourself and tell us what you do on your channel. Abe is an upcoming TikToker. Like, he just blew up the last week, basically, right, Abe?
Pretty much. Blew up. I don't want to sound, you all have more than me, but I'm like, a senior citizen who joined in because I'm sick of Facebook and Instagram, and I found, I've been an activist for years, so this is an opportunity for me to say how I feel. And I've been having a blast, and I got like 65,000 views. It was so orgasmic, But I talk about not liking Trump or hating Trump, whichever word you feel is more appropriate, while he's in the hospital. Like we should all be like sweet at this point. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I'm doing a film called Won't Be Silent, and it's about the music of protest and the history of it. And we had to kind of shut down production because of COVID, but it's, I'm swinging back into it. So this is just an awesome group of young people that I get to, not only young, but a cross section of people that are really into speaking truth. Facebook and Instagram is either it's just a bunch of angry people. Instagrams are just a bunch of fabulous people who are showing the best of who they are, and here, people are so honest and real, and I feel like what a joy. So that's who I am, and
that's awesome.
Sort of a dialogue with people of like minds, and I don't know where everybody else is, but I'm also in California with Bert. I'm in Los Angeles.
And where are you at, Ryan? Are you in New York or
Nope,
Los
I'm in
Angeles?
Arizona.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm
Cool. In Phoenix, in Tucson?
Tucson, yep.
I was born in Tucson, actually.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm new here, so I'm like 2 months new here. We were down in Sierra Vista before that, so.
I was born there, but I've never really been there. I mean, I literally, because my mom was kind of working for the as a pilot, so
cool.
for the Air Force. So I ended up getting born there, but I never
Me and my
been
wife
back.
are Air Force.
So. Oh, your wife is in the Air Force.
No, me and my wife were both Air Force. My wife just
Oh.
retired after 21 years, and I was stupid and got out after 4. So
Thank you
Oh,
for
wow.
your service.
thanks, appreciate
That's
it.
cool. Yeah, anyways, you guys, I've got this clip about healthcare because, you know, it's relevant for today. I was going to focus on like the debate today mostly, but Trump is in the hospital. And, you know, Trump promised us Trump care, which was going to be better than Obamacare. I mean, we definitely know that's not quite true, but I've got,
That one.
There's no such thing as Trump care. Trump care is Obamacare.
Trump cares
He
Obamacare.
said he made it
Obamacare
better.
nitpick. Yeah.
here's a clip
It's
that
Obamacare.
not played yet from last week, actually, because our topic last week was Medicare for all and all of what Obama did to help us get health care. But, you know, Trump is in the hospital now, and what has Trump done for our healthcare system? He doesn't care about us. He really, 210,000 lives dead. He doesn't care about us, honestly. Here's a clip, though.
It's in court.
And this is a happy hour, so where's your guys' drinks?
Oh, I got the whole big thing.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna play this.
I'm not
this
an
clip
AA,
right now.
just saying.
Okay, water's fine. Water's good. Here we go, guys.
Under Obamacare, Medicaid was expanded in the majority of states. Large employers were obliged to provide insurance to their workers. Health insurance became mandatory, with fines for those who didn't enroll, and there was a cap on the difference insurance providers could charge older people. Under Trump Care, they intend to cut Medicaid expansion and stop any more states taking it up. They will free employers of the obligation to insure their workers. They'll stop insurance being mandatory, but say those who go 2 months without it may face higher policies. They'll use tax credits to help people buy it, and they'll make major cuts to women's health programs, including Planned Parenthood. The moment the presidential plan emerged, it appeared he'd pulled off something of a coup, infuriating both those on the left of his party, worried that it would leave many Americans unprotected, and those on the right, who called it Obama Light, hated the fact he hadn't got rid of it completely. Then this emerged. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, think along the lines of our OBR, predicted that 24 million more Americans would be uninsured by the next decade if the proposals went through. Older, poorer people would be worst hit. I asked the head of emergency services, Dr. Douglas Stern, what he makes of those numbers.
I don't think that is an exaggeration. I think we could have more uninsured patients, and that's going to push them towards an expensive health care, the emergency department. Because if someone's uninsured, they're going to wait until they have an acute problem. And then once they have that acute problem, they're going to go into the system through the emergency department. And unfortunately, that's the highest cost of healthcare delivery.
So, Dr. Stern, from what you're saying, this is a community that can ill afford to pay for this healthcare.
We have some patients that are on a fixed income, and usually it's the retired group. And they're on a fixed income. They don't have the opportunity to make any more money. And they choose between taking their blood pressure medication, their insulin, or buying food.
Yeah, so like I said, people don't want to go see the hospital. They don't want to go see their doctor because they don't have insurance. And how are we going to get COVID and go see the doctor and go get a test? I mean, this is only Trump that can do this and go see the doctor every single day and make sure that he's not sick. But unfortunately, most people, they're not going to get the early detection of COVID. So all their whole family is going to get sick.
How can we expect this president, who has been handed everything with a silver spoon up his butt since he's been born, be empathetic to anyone that struggles? He doesn't understand it. There is no empathy there. This is what has created his personality. whenever the healthcare subject comes up, he deflects at every single turn. I mean, people ask him, well, what's your plan? You know, reporters, people that are commentators ask him, well, what's your plan? And he starts talking about the stock market. And it's like, dude, that's because he doesn't have a plan, people. There is no plan. Like, he's saying that, well, I know that this video, it's horrible, and this is exactly what he has planned, and that's why he won't say it. Like, it's insane. He's not going to brag about the plan that he has because it's terrible, and it's not going to help the American people. He has no empathy. He has no idea what it is like to struggle on a daily basis and what it's like to not have that comfort of being cared for when you're sick. So,
I mean,
he
who
wants
tries
to move us. Oh, go ahead, Domenick.
I was just going to say, who tries to kick 20 million people off of healthcare in the middle of a pandemic?
exactly.
I mean, it's just insane. I just don't even understand how you could even, you know, think about doing something like that. But it's his hatred. It's his hatred towards Obama. It's the hatred that Obama came up with the Obamacare, and he's been saying it since day one. So he wants to try to get rid of it before the election, because then he can say that he kept his promise, and that's all he cares about. So that he can tell his people that I took care of my promise, and that's it. And he doesn't care about the 20 million people.
You're right.
The thing that Trump really wants to take away is the requirement for the bosses to buy the insurance. Under like 20 employees, they have to buy the insurance, or over 20 employees, they have to pay for the insurance. But everybody needs to chip in for Obamacare to make Obamacare work. Everybody needs to chip in, and we need to just have mandatory, everyone has insurance no matter what, because that's the only way it can work. Everyone has to pitch into it. It can't be just, some companies want to pitch in, some people don't. It doesn't work. It won't work like that, because not everyone gets sick. Only some people get sick, and those are the people that really need healthcare. You know, Crohn's disease and all these different diseases from the GMOs we're getting fed. I mean, we're just, it's getting worse. I mean, literally, more and more people are getting sick, but unfortunately, we've got.
As long as the Republicans are in power, there's not really a big opportunity for the kind of change. You know, whether you're a huge Bernie supporter or whatever, the thing is caring about there's 350 million people in this country. It's a lot of people, and everyone has so many different needs. There has to be, I agree with you, a base thing that the government provides. And if you have a shitty job, you don't have to. You still can have insurance. And if you have a little money extra, then you can get, it's having different levels. The way we have the gold, the silver, and all the various levels when you buy insurance. It's just, there should just be a base operation. It's kind of like Medicare, and that's a certain thing. And if you're a little more affluent, then, that's the drive for you to get more work and work, whatever. It's built into the system to work hard, be able to pay your bills, or strive or do better and get out of, financial ruin if you're poor. And it just, until we all get there, we're not going to have anything. So I'm a firm believer in that we will see change in November, because I can't imagine this is our conversation for the next 4 years. I can't.
Well, what we also need to keep in mind and keep talking about is the fact that we can't do things like this. We can't fix infrastructure in the ways that you guys are saying without the money. And I kind of lost my train of thought there. I'm not gonna lie.
But the
thing is, like you guys, the money is.
But what I want.
Really quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Say this really quick. I think that in all of everything that's going on, it's like, I feel like life is a gobstopper. If you guys even know what a gobstopper is, all these layers, I guess you could say an onion. So when you get to the core of this gobstopper, it's life and what is important in life. And humanity is important, and people often forget that when they're faced with the dollar sign. And that, to me, I think we need to get more to that basic principle more so than anything, because when you reset your default to humanity, everything else I feel so falls back into place. And then it's kind of like a storm of, you know, this is what matters and not all this crap that's going on around you. This is what we are all, we're all the same. We all are living human beings, no matter our religion, no matter our gender, no matter our sexual preference. We are all the same, and we need to take care of each other.
Absolutely. And what I was going to say is, in order for us to pay for this, everybody has to pay their fair share. So when we have these affluent people you guys were talking about, and they're not paying anywhere near what middle class and lower class people are paying into tax system, it's really hard to fix these kind of infrastructures. But going back to what Bert was talking about, so again, this personally affects me. I have a pre-existing condition. I have something called Lynch syndrome, and it causes cancer in certain parts of the body. And I'm 38 years old, and I had to have my colon taken out last year. So if Obama had not put certain things in place when he signed the GINA Act, the Genome Non-Discriminatory Act in 2008, I could be dead right now, like no joke. And I wouldn't have had health care to cover me for my surgeries, which, you know, luckily my wife and I have good coverage, so we were fortunate, which, like you guys were saying, not everybody is as fortunate as me. But the point being that now Trump's administration is directly attacking people like me who have pre-existing condition, and they're trying to get rid of the health care, and they're literally walking us backwards. I think that's the part that a lot of people don't necessarily make the connection right now. Is it's not like, oh, he's deregulating it and walking it backwards with executive order. So he can stand up there and say whatever he wants to the American people, but to those of us paying attention, we can see exactly what's going on, which is he is literally systematically deteriorating our foundation of the Medicare system so that he can say he's trying to build something back up. But all he's going to do is do exactly what we've been doing now to get us right back to where we were, so he can say, I did it. But literally, we should be moving forward, but we're wasting time going backwards, and we're just going to have to, as soon as Biden or whoever's in office, we're just going to have to fix it again before we can go forward. Once again, we're wasting more time, we're wasting more money, more resources. It's, you know, like I said, it's why I'm getting into this game. I just can't take it anymore.
I mean, but if you think about it, they printed so much money since March.
Yes.
That for me, I do never personally, it's like that episode of Seinfeld when Kramer's like, you just write it off. And he's like, write what off? You know what I mean? I feel like we print money. So print enough money so that there is that base that you're talking about.
Yep.
So there is this leveling. You see, America is built on a different principle than Europe because they provide for their people. There's certain basic things. So we're like kids trying something out here at like camp, and like we're fucking up because
we cannot say that
is important.
Can't cuss.
We can't cuss because of YouTube's algorithm. That's okay, but it's because of YouTube's algorithm. It will not let this video get popular. It won't go into like the For You page of YouTube if you cuss. But yeah, we've been pretty good so far. I mean, YouTube does understand it does happen, but we just get in trouble with that. I don't care.
Right.
I really don't care.
I have to put like a rope on my tongue too.
You're not offending me, but you're gonna make that.
We don't want to lose. We don't
I'm from New York originally, you know what I mean, in Jersey, so we curse.
Yeah,
I'm from Detroit. Same thing there.
Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt your thought, though, Abe.
No, but
keep going.
Because we're this country that's this idea that they keep throwing back at us, that the idea is not working. We came here, we killed whoever was here, and we used people for free labor. That's why we became such a rich country. We're not based on principles like Europe. And I mean, when I lived in Amsterdam, I moved after George Bush declared mission impossible, mission accomplished. And they live in a world where things like the arts are provided by the government, healthcare, basic needs that are giving you actually a bit of a quality of life. It's given. Yeah, the richer people live in better houses. They go to better doctors. They get better, better surgeons or better cosmetic surgery, whatever. But I just think that we've lost I agree with you. We've lost the reason why we came to America was to avoid oppression. So here we are oppressing people. It's like we didn't learn anything. This is a failed experiment. And democracy, just like all the other ones, like serfhood and, it's not a perfect system. And we're seeing that now. We're seeing that in that the president of the United States is the president of the United States and pays less tax than my dog, Alfie.
You guys know, like, Trump's plan
That was
is
so
gonna,
much funnier you showing the dog. I want you to know.
The dog, exactly.
I love your dog.
The dog made it.
Your dog, Alfie's awesome.
Anyway, I just think that this whole thing, what happened with Black Lives Matter, I mean, it's systematic in this country, as is everything else, which is why we killed the Native Americans. It's why anti-Semitism is on the rise, because the people that came here were these Christians, these Puritans, and that's part of the fabric of this country. That's why we don't provide funding for the arts, because those people didn't think the arts were important. They just wanted to look at God and Hail Mary and whatever the hell they were doing.
I don't know.
But that's a very intrinsic part of what we're missing.
But I don't know if the arts are getting defunded necessarily for that reason as much as it is. And I'm going to tell you what makes me say this is I'm watching homeschooling our kids. I'm seeing the curriculum that they do and realizing that the world that we grew up in, I mean, like I said, I'm 38. I don't know how old y'all are. But the world that we grew up in it's not the world that our kids are going to grow up in. It's not the world they're in right now. So, I just don't know. I think what the problem is our government hasn't figured out what we need to fund and what we don't need to fund to move us in the right direction or keep moving us forward with progress. But also, like you said, I think it also boils down to how do we manage that while also keeping this quality of life and keeping our life rich with music and art and things like that. We do have to figure out how to fund more than just what we are, the bare minimum, which it feels like that's what we're doing right now. We're funding just the bare minimum without any real eye on the future. And, y'all can't see it, but right up here, there's a vote for 208, or Proposition 208 here in Arizona, and that's invest in education. So we're fighting right now. Yeah, we're fighting right now to get funding to our schools. And Arizona has some of the worst public schools in the nation. Like literally, I think we're in the bottom 5. So I mean, we need this. And so the funding will always be an issue. I think it really is going to boil down to us figuring out how we're going in this new revolution of internet and computers and shifting how our careers are, and all of it. We're going to have to figure out where to put our money. And I don't blame necessarily people. Sometimes you got to test something out to see if it works before you figure it out. But there definitely we're throwing money at things that just don't need money thrown at them. And that's a problem.
Yeah, but the thing about what we don't know money-wise is the billions of dollars that are going to special interests, the billions of dollars they waste on paying for like the campaigns. I mean, how much money do we spend on the presidency and all the ancillary costs about that? I mean, I produce events, and as a producer, I'm always concerned about the bottom line and line items. How many line items, if we were ever privy to see what we spend money on, when you just know there's so much waste. So as long as Republicans are in there, that is how people like McConnell became a multimillionaire. I mean, that's money. That's money that we'll never see the right people.
In the military, we call that fraud, waste, and abuse. And we actually do track it. The military tracks it. So you can bet your behind that they track, what is wasted. They track every dollar. It's just what do people think is necessary and what's not? Are they getting a fair? Are they getting to charge a fair fee, or are they way overpaying? You know, and somebody's getting their pockets padded. You know, it's like everything; it's overcomplicated.
No, but we need shrewd people in business to really be at the bottom line and not be about. I don't know. I just can't imagine that we're still talking about roads and bridges and airports 20 years later. It's the same conversation.
Can I, on what Abe said, can I say something? That if Trump would have run, and actually if he would have, and I have never been a fan of his, I did not, I despise this man, but if he would have said the infrastructure of the country was number one and actually put it into action, he would be president for another 4 years.
100%. 100% agree.
Yeah, it would have been based on his whole thing about
something else. Infrastructure.
So
The
he
problem-
wasted that time and money on the wall, which was a total waste of time.
Oh, you should see what they're doing down here. They're blowing up. They're blowing up national. They're blowing up burial grounds, protected lands to put up that stupid barrier. I mean, I've got a group down here. They've been fighting it for a year. They've blocked the last free flowing river here and there. It's so upsetting. Yeah, that wall or border.
So they're putting a wall through Tucson, Arizona, like all the way
Tucson,
through?
bro. Like down in the border, like below Sierra Vista. They're blowing up parts of the land so they can build their stupid barrier through parts of land that are supposed to be protected. That Native Americans, it's tribal for them. It's crazy, man. They don't care. They're just blowing it up so that they can build some vanity wall. It's upsetting.
Most people that come over the border from Mexico are taking a flight and then they're just overstaying their visa. That's how they get in. They're not coming in running through the border.
Or they're going right through the entry points. I mean, my wife and I actually watched that show. It's replaced cops for us now. They got rid of cops. but they have the one on the border patrol and they show how they come through, and they're not coming through the mountain area that most people can't hike up. And we're putting a border wall at the bottom of that. How about we spend our money on technology? There's a blimp that they have down there that floats over everything and has all this cool technology like night vision and cameras and blah, blah, blah. How about we spend more money on technology? Better yet, how about we build a wall that produces green energy, and we split that with Mexico, and we say, hey, if you help us build this wall, we'll put up all these solar panels and shit. And we'll even sorry.
You sound like a
but we'll build it. We'll put all this stuff on here that can produce green electricity, and we'll share it with you 50-50. And then will you send people to help us build it? Oh, you would? Cool. Holy crap. How hard was that?
Exactly.
I mean, we should have had better infrastructure as a first world nation. Like, we don't have the healthcare. We don't have renewable energy. We don't have anything. Like, we are almost like a third world country, honestly, you guys.
Yeah.
I've been to third world countries. LA looks like Mumbai. Actually, Mumbai looks a lot better than LA, to be honest. I've driven down in the slums in LA. It's bad. I mean, you can call them slums in India, and you can also call them slums in Skid Row. Skid Row is a bunch of tents.
Skid Row.
And, I mean, it's just really sad. I mean,
it's getting worse, Bert. It's not getting better. You know what I mean? Like,
the rich are getting richer.
Yep. Everything is driven by money. Everything is driven by money. And the fact that lobbyists can get in, and it's crazy to me that people can get in and influence the people that are supposed to support us. They work for us. And all these other, it's a business for them. And the people that are supposed to represent our state and our country are being influenced by these outside sources, no matter where they're coming from, whether it is within our country or outside of our country. I feel like this is a wild dog that has just gotten loose, and I want to swear right now, and I don't care, but it's just nuts. It's gone awry completely, and this is the first time in my whole life other than when I was little watching this horrible show about nuclear war. I don't know if you all saw that. Well, I think you guys, Ryan, you're too young, so are you, Bert. It's probably you other guys too, but it was about nuclear war, and it scared the crap out of me. That was the only time in my whole life that I was terrified until now. So,
like, for example, for one thing that I really don't get about the United States is that back in the 1950s, we did have a good train system. We had the best train system in the world, and Europe actually wanted to copy us. And yeah, like this comment says, Lauis M said, we need a national train system. Like, we need the public transportation in every suburb, in every city. We should be able to connect them. Like in Germany, you can go from one city to another on the train, and it's like 100 miles away. The trains are all connected. It costs you like $4 or $5 maybe to go like 80 miles or something. It's crazy. It's cheap.
It's amazing. Your rail, you can't even. It's just amazing. But again, that's Europe. They've created systems for everyone to be able to experience travel.
Well, and the problem is that we, in the way that we have our structure set up in the countries, we give so much power to the states to be independent. So we don't have. It seems like we struggle with this. Well, we're going to I look at the pipeline. I think the oil pipeline from Canada down to wherever is a great example. You want to get a nationwide train system that goes, that goes into all these cities and across the country. I mean, I think the way that we have our government set up, it's not. I'm not going to say it's not doable, but it would be difficult because you'd have to get every single state on board. You'd have to get every piece of land, bought and taken care of. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying it's not doable, but man, what an undertaking.
Amtrak's not bad, I will say. I went from California to Texas once.
But we have an infrastructure that's already there. So I wonder if it would be like, we could dump money into it and make it better. I don't know, but I'm just, I look at the feasibility of it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
But Trump has no interest in getting our public transportation up to standard at all. I mean, I know that's a local issue for a lot of states and stuff, but honestly, it's a renewable energy type of thing to have public transportation a lot more accessible to everyone. Because here in Los Angeles, you could use some train. There's one train line, I think, or there may be two train lines, but it's not very well regulated, and there's no security guard to make sure you're safe. It's just a little bit dangerous. And Sacramento is the same. They've got one train line that goes from Sacramento to Folsom, which is like a city 45 minutes away. And it's just ghetto. You go from one place to another, and literally no one's paying for their ticket, and there's just no security guards, so no one's even safe. So no one wants to take that. They have to buy a car and go to work with the car. And we just don't have that many lines. It's not very accessible or efficient or convenient to use the public transportation.
But real quick, I don't know if you realize you touched on it, Bert, but safety. We can have the infrastructure in place, but if we don't have a plan to enforce safety, if we don't have a plan to enforce, it's not going to matter because people aren't going to feel safe. And like you just said, they're going to go buy a car and stay safe. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so many things we'd have to fix.
But COVID has also thrown a wrinkle into the whole train system as well. So
you're right.
The thing is, we're at a place now that, of course, is so scary on so many levels. Not only for the, oh my God, can I die if I touch a thing? But, but just the fact that there's such division, and the fact that we're sitting on the day that the president is guilty of getting the disease that he said was fake. I mean, you can't even write this stuff. I mean, you can't. If you decided to write like whatever, it's like, it's not even a reality show anymore. It's like we are living inside a horror film. Because right now, if he gets sicker over the next couple of days, there could be a cyber attack from Russia, or whoever, Iran especially. Go ahead. I'll stop.
I'm sorry. No. I'm just adding to what you're saying. So, we took history in school, and you think, wow, this was such a big deal. I really feel like it's just something in me. I feel like we are living like a life-turning history moment.
Oh, 100%.
I have that feeling like everything that has been leading up, and everybody knows that is somebody that follows history. History repeats itself, and I think I don't know how it's going to play out with the president right now, but I feel like we're in this, whether it plays out here or here, I still feel like we're in this defining moment in history. And I think all of us, we all agree with each other, and you know, all of the views that we have, because we see it, I feel as though we see it for what it is. And we gotta keep going, and we gotta keep like talking about the issues like we are. But I think we are in a turning stone, in a turning moment of our country and our history.
I mean, what's interesting is that we're not hearing enough about what happened to America. What was during the Spanish flu? Like culturally, we're going through the same thing: job loss, illness, death, and you know they had a presidential election. They switched. So but you don't really hear as much as, you know, history repeats itself. It's almost like we're not going back to see what we might have learned from that. Which may be something I do this weekend and really like Google around a little bit. But I just think that the scariest part of this whole thing is that there's a group of people out there that are willing to kill people that don't think like them. I mean, I'm willing to just hate people who don't think like them.
Let's talk about that. The Proud Boys, all of the white supremacist groups. I have covered that many times.
Well, you already know what happened to the other weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. But here's the thing. I feel like with Trump being president and the things that he has been saying, he is inciting and he is pulling, I call them cockroaches, out from under that have been hiding, that have this same like view that he has. And it's not necessarily that Trump, and I don't know if Trump feels that way, but he all he cares about is another vote. Like he cares about the people that support him, and he's going to do anything it takes. So all of these cockroaches have come up out of the surface, and they're here, and they are like, they're not even trying to hide their faces anymore. They're just bam in your face. I have gotten hit on so many social medias with these people. It's scary how many people in this country feel that way.
Yeah,
it's scary, frightening.
I mean, I take that very personally because I'm Jewish and my mother survived Dachau. And
what's
for
that
me,
whose phone?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Unfortunately, it's not shutting.
Yeah, I don't know either. It just keeps going on.
That's like,
it's like such a loud ding noise.
Yeah.
It's a good sound effect though.
Let me.
But yeah, Domenick, what do you think about this? Like you live in a city where like you do have proper like common transportation. Like everybody takes the public transportation everywhere in New Jersey and New York. You really have got it made when it comes to public transportation, I would say.
Yeah, it's good over here. I'm not going to say, you know, I mean, I think the biggest problem with our country right now is anything that needs to get done in our country. The two parties don't see eye to eye, so everything just gets, you know, gummed up and nothing will ever get done. So no matter what we need to get done, it'll never get done because people can't work together. And that's one of the things I kind of like about Biden, because I think Biden can work across the aisle. And all these people that are saying that they don't like Biden right now in the Senate and stuff, they know Biden, they know what Biden's about, and they'll be able to work with Biden and get these things done that we haven't been able to get done over the years. So I'm excited if he gets in to see where we can go and how far we can go in the future, because hopefully they'll be able to work together. Right now we have, like, you know, the Republicans and the Democrats. One has the House, one has the Senate, one's the president, one's this, one's that, and nobody ever gets along. So every time they try to put something through to help everybody, it doesn't get done because it just gets reverted back. So that's why we're so far back from everywhere else, because other countries work together and they get stuff done. Our country is like, if somebody doesn't like it and somebody likes it, then they fight about it and nothing gets done, and then we're stuck in the same spot we were 4 years ago.
And then at the end of it, we just agree to disagree.
Huh?
And then at the end of it, they'll just say, well, we agreed. Oh, sorry.
No. And what scares me is about, even if Trump gets taken out of office during the next 4 months after that, what is he going to write into law that's going to screw everything up? I mean, it's just kind of, it's a really scary time in our country. And I could not see us having another 4 years. And that's why we gotta do everything, get him out. I mean,
like,
if anybody
can
look at our country.
Like, do you guys really think that there's a chance that, you know, Trump can actually win this? I mean, there's so many things. I feel like him getting coronavirus just puts the nail in the coffin, because it shows that he was wrong the whole time. But I guess it doesn't even matter, because he could come out with a machine gun and shoot 100 people.
Not even that.
People would still follow him.
Not even that, Bert. You got to start thinking of, how can you spin this? How can you positively spin this? They already said he got some kind of treatment before he went in, some treatment that wasn't even approved by the FDA yet. Experimental treatment. He was given some kind of. So I'm telling you right now, don't think for a second that they will not come out and spin this in some positive way. Oh, see, I've been telling you this whole time. It wasn't as bad as it was, and it's going to be 2 weeks before the election. No, man, don't. We need to remember. We cannot sit back and think that this guy can't win. Trust me, this guy can win. I have a mailbox full of hate messages to prove it, that these aren't coming from bots. These are coming from real people, you know, that have taken the time to research me and come at me with personal attacks. This guy can win. Hate is powerful, and emotions will outweigh the logic that we are talking about here all day.
Can I say something? Ryan, you were just saying that they put him on some sort of experimental medicine.
That's the way it was reported, but somebody somebody came out.
Oh my God. So here's the thing. Oh my gosh. This is his spin. If he did this and said, oh, well, this vaccine or something experimental saved my life. Oh my God.
You're seeing it. She's seeing it in live time. This is what happened. You're seeing
what's going on. You do, Ryan. And then it's all of a sudden, oh, he's the new, like, he's saving all of us from COVID just enough to get elected. Holy crap. I need a minute.
But I mean, we'll get Trump is going to get the best possible treatments.
But you know, again, we need to think like criminals. And I know that sounds bad, but it's how we need to think. We need to think, okay, what is this guy going to do to make it look like he is the savior that they have claimed him to be? And then let's see if we can connect the dots back to, oh yeah, that actually makes sense. And unfortunately, where I'm sitting, there are several avenues that he can take to flip this around to his benefit. So no, I absolutely think that we have to stay vigilant. We cannot afford to think that Biden's got this, because
everyone has to stay mad and have to not be all sweet and sugar and spice.
Amen.
That he's sick, big fucking deal. How about 210,000 people that didn't survive because he knew? He knew.
And going back, I don't know who said it. I think it was actually Lord that said it. But you know, my mom, she works at the VA hospital. And if right now they're not letting normal people in, like if you go in there, you've got something wrong, and the process that she has to go through to get in the building is extensive. So I mean, this is bad, man.
I mean, I posted this earlier, but I think that he knew he was positive before the debate. I think Melania knew. That's why she was the only one in the family that wore a mask going into that place. That's why she barely touched him when she had to get on that stage. And that's why he was already sick. They were saying he wasn't feeling well on Wednesday after that fundraiser. For him to be in the hospital on Friday, the incubation period is 3 to 5 days. It does not compute. And I think they're using Hicks
as the fall guy, to blame it all on her, makes it like so.
I don't think so, because we were talking about that earlier. People are starting to come out now and say that she may have gotten it from him. So I don't necessarily think they're trying to make her the fall person, but I think she's just line of fire.
But they're not about to say, well, he knew before I mean, the fact
no, they'll never say that.
Crazy as he was on Tuesday night,
they'll never admit
that was unusually crazy.
No, I agree with you there. The timeline doesn't line up with the narrative that they're giving us, for sure.
So, and who can ever trust anything they say? Which goes back to this healthcare plan. I mean, anything we can talk about, they're just going to lie, and that's why we have to vote our faces off.
And like I said, I'd be remiss if I didn't say again, for anybody out there who has a pre-existing condition, please don't let them convince you or tell you that they aren't attacking our rights under a pre-existing condition, because they are. And they're doing it through executive orders. They're trying to dismantle the GINA Act of 2008. They're trying to take out the pre-existing conditions of Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, which is the actual name of it. So please, guys, don't let this administration tell you that they're concerned about your health care or your pre-existing condition or take care of you, because they don't. And even if Biden was selling us 50% BS, that's still a heck of a lot better than what we got right now. But I truly believe Biden wants to do what's best. We're not going to agree with everything he says and does, but I think he wants what's best for the country overall, and I hope that's what we'll vote for in November.
Well, he knows compassion. He knows about loss. He knows about
most of us
poverty. Yeah. He knows about all the things that all Americans that are on this call anyway have experienced at one point in their life. He came from here, and he's still living in that world, even though he can't afford it. And somebody said on one of my TikTok things that, she should get divorced before they gets out of the White House, because $400 million is going to be coming up to her too. So she's the one that's having the worst day on the planet.
Now, I was going to bring up, I was reading something right before this of the Melania tapes. Were you going to talk about that, Bert?
No, let's talk about it. Let's absolutely talk about it.
So the Melania tapes, and I'm gonna probably upset some people, but the Melania tapes are being like very sensationalized. They're recorded conversations between her and one of her, closest confidants and assistants, whatever. And I just got to say, they are not as sensational as everybody's making them up to be. Like if you recorded a conversation with me on a phone call and I didn't know about it, it's going to be worse than that. I'm just telling you.
I totally agree with you.
And I think, and again, this is where, my conspiracy theory comes in. I think she's pulling a Princess Diana, where she's going to distance herself from the Trump brand so that when he's not done with the presidency, she's out. And I truly believe that, because those tapes were not that bad. And if anything, it left me thinking, okay, so she wanted to get this story out, but she wanted to get the liberal news media websites to post it. She's like, of course I could have gotten Fox to do it. She goes, but I didn't want Fox to do it. Yep. That sentence right there, I was like, this isn't about making Melania Trump look bad. This is about distancing Melania Trump from the Trump name. And I truly believe that.
All right,
Ryan, I 100% agree with you completely. My husband said the same thing. He's like, did you hear the Melania tapes? And I was like, I've been busy with this whole Trump COVID thing. Yeah, so I listened to it, and I was listening to it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of messed up. She was, kind of said what she did about the kids in the cages. I don't think she meant it that way, because it's almost like what can I do? Like nobody's,
that's exactly kind of what it was.
But at the same time, I think the most offensive thing about this tape, if you heard it, was the fact that she was like, who gives a crap about Christmas right now?
100%. Like, that's huge for the evangelical.
Because that's going to piss off the right side, because they're all about saying Merry Christmas and not Happy Holidays.
No,
just real quick, sorry, but what you said about how she how she said that when she was talking about the kids. What she was, that conversation was cut, and what she was talking about, the context of it was that she busted her ass. She had done all this decorating because she had to, because she's first lady, right? And then when they do the press conference for it, what's the first question that she gets asked about? Well, what about all the families that are separated and the kids are in the things and they can't spend Christmas with their families? And her response to her friend on the phone was like, I effing care, or who the F cares? Because what about all the work I just did? What about like we've been talking about this for months and years, and you know, it was a moment of frustration that I think is being sensationalized, and I yeah.
I agree with you.
All right. So I think you're being very kind because no matter what, she's still beyond manipulative.
Oh, yeah.
She's someone that the country, she has not shown enough respect to this country in the name of the person that she succeed, you know, her successor.
Or did she want the job, Abe?
It's whether she wants the job or not. The point is, it doesn't matter. They've all signed on for something.
But that's not true.
But they let him run slipshod over them. You know, imagine yourself in a position that your spouse is doing something that you are really not into. You know, life is choice. She made choices. Okay, these are very high-class problem choices. Do I stay in New York City in the penthouse? Do I go to Washington D.C. and live in the White House? I mean, I'll never know about those choices. But I know as a human being, the things that I feel that she's responsible for in her time as First Lady, which is what she did to wear that jacket with "I don't care, do you?" I mean, that's the conversation.
But can we just talk about being fair? We're talking about the tapes. You know, we can all talk about Melania and what we all think about her and what our opinions are of her. But the point being that they're taking these tapes and they're using them out of context against her. And I don't agree with it. And I think if we're, you know, you want to talk about staying classy as a movement and as liberals and Democrats, then let's stay classy. You know, let's look at it for what it is. And, you know, we have plenty of ammunition, like you just said, Abe. We got plenty of stuff that we can use against this woman. Do we really need to throw in some private conversations that were taken out of context?
Well, I mean, the thing about Christmas, I kind of think is delicious. I don't know.
We all do. Yeah, we all do.
Look, I just think, I mean, the only thing I would 100% agree with you both on is that the media is responsible for half the problems we're having in this country anyway.
100% with you, Abe, on that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is why I think things like this are even more important, because Nikki and I were talking about this earlier. You know, when we start combining our followings and we start having these conversations and everybody starts paying attention and looking at them later, you know, we have this ability to kind of cut through some of that and, you know, inform people through our conversations, not in a condescending way, but just being like, when we talk it out and we connect all the dots, it's like, oh, and that for me, that's the game changer, man. Like we gotta burn the bridges down right now and then build them back up.
I think what Bert's doing is really awesome, because why I love TikTok is because everyone is honest and they're sharing from their heart, and it's only a minute.
And
I'm wanting to hear more from so many people that I'll never get a chance to hear everything from. But this is the importance of content. Content is king. That's what we all know. So if we get a chance to expand the format of TikTok to have these honest conversations with cross cultures of people, I just think it's heaven. And the thing about the project that I'm working on, this is my heart project that I've been doing, this Won't Be Silent. Since we got closed down, there's a song that's called Won't Be Silent, which is at the center of this film. And I thought, let me not just put it away in the shelf. So I've been using it as, what better way to say I won't be silent than by voting? So I've been doing all these public service announcements for these voting rights groups, 2 different ones in Washington, D.C., to get the message out for young people, people of color, and whatever. And the thing that part of this group that I was working with is that we talked about You know, I just think back to March 7th, the Women's March in 2017, and when the Indivisible people did that thing when the kids were being put in the cages, and there was 700 rallies all over the United States in honor of those kids, as well as what everybody's been doing at the Black Lives Matter movement, the peaceful protesters. I feel like it would be awesome if we're able to get this idea of a march on November 3rd, so that all over the country we have these march to the ballot box, and that becomes the thing. So go with your friends, group together. It's kind of like, it's like the 60s happening, but you're actually going to vote, and you shouldn't do it alone. Like, find your groups, make it something, make it special. This is the most, and I say it probably every 4 years, but this is the most important election of my time, and I'm older than all of you. And I was there for like the Vietnam War and for Nixon, and this is worse. This is worse, and we don't, and it's worse because we're fighting in the streets here emotionally. Even though right now the Proud Boys are kind of just a thing that we're all kind of potentially going to be afraid of, like literally. Right now, it's like really emotionally, it's chipping away, and I'm pretty centered, but it is really chipping away at like the fact that somebody could come up to me in LA because of my religion or because I'm gay. I mean, I got two things working against me. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not safe anymore. And that's why I thought I lived in America for like being the land of the free. It's like the fabric of this country is just torn.
And what you just said, I tell people this one thing. If you want to know what it feels like to be a person of color, put on a Black Lives Matters t-shirt and go walk out in public for a while.
Exactly.
Really?
I've done that, and let me tell you, if you want to know what it's like to be black and you're white, try that and go into a Republican area, and you will have your eyes opened for you.
Wow.
Without question. So I totally agree with that. It's a very scary time. I'm married. Nikki and I were talking. I'm married to a black woman. So interracial marriage, on top of deciding to be a politician and get into public life, I mean, we get some pretty nasty stuff, and it makes you want to retreat. To be honest, at least it makes me want to retreat and kind of stay in the safety of my own home, But like Abe said, we can't do that. We can't afford to do that right now.
You're getting into politics?
Yeah.
Cool. Wait, let me find you in here then.
He'll be under a-hole.
Ryan Shea? Wait, how do I find you on TikTok anyway?
That one should be Real Ryan Shed.
Okay.
We are almost out of time, you guys. So
Sorry, yeah.
it's been an hour and a half almost. But like,
hey, did you have any other videos for us to watch though?
Yeah, actually I did. I've got one more that I wanted to show you guys. And this was kind of another part of that same Obamacare transferred to Trump care video. Let me play it for us.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, like, this is such a fun community of TikTok, and having Lord and Walter and all of you guys. I mean, we kind of rotate. We don't have the same crew every single week. So it's just so much fun kind of playing musical chairs with people. And I normally do have like a lot more of a topic, but today it was just so random. I was originally going to focus on the debates, but the debates are nothing compared to Trump having COVID and healthcare. I mean, the last Tuesdays was about healthcare also, but really healthcare is what the Republicans want to take away from us, and they want to make healthcare $2,000 per month for us, like for the normal Joe Schmo people like me, because I've got Obamacare right now and it covers me, but I can't afford $2,000 a month. I don't even go to the hospital. I never get sick. So if I pay $2,000 a month, it's just completely pointless. But if I get COVID, it's going to be $150,000 for me to go to the hospital, to go get my treatments, to get my, the tube going down into my throat, which Trump might have to do. Who knows? But like to get the ventilator, to do all that stuff, it's going to cost $100,000 to $200,000. So to pay $2,000 per month sounds like not that much compared to going to the hospital in America and spending that kind of money. In most countries, they've got it figured out. Like, I know it's not cheap, but their medical system, they got prices for everything. You have to go there. You pay the certain amount of money in France. Maybe it's like $500 you're going to pay, but you get 3 nights in the hospital and you get all the treatments, and it's only maybe $200, maybe it's $1,000, but it's not $150,000. I mean, in China, for example, I pay like to get my broken arm. I was in a set for a movie and I fell down into this shaft with a light. I felt like I broke my arm. At first I didn't feel anything, and then my arm just swelled up. And then I'm like, whoa, I need to go just see if my arm is broken. Yeah. And so it cost me only $8 to get a X-ray, $8, and it's a full-on X-ray. They give you the paper. I got to take the paper home for the X-ray, and they told me, oh no, it's not broken, but it is like it's very sensitive right now, and it's basically a hairline fracture. It could have been a hairline fracture, but they told me it's not. And that would cost $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 in America, depending on what doctor or what plan you had, just to go get the scan of your arm, right? I don't know exactly how much it costs, but it's like a lot of money.
It's expensive. My daughter broke her arm in the midst of a pandemic. So yes, I know how much it costs. It's expensive.
Yeah, no, it's pricey. And even when you have insurance, it's still pricey. I mean, these companies are really taking advantage of us. And anyways, I've got this really fun clip to play for you guys. Well, not a fun clip. This is Pennsylvania in 2017. And what they went through, what they were hoping for when they hired or when they voted for Trump. They were hoping for cheaper health care because Obamacare is too expensive. And that's true. Obamacare is not perfect. But Trump care is going to be a lot more expensive. I mean, seriously. Okay, here we go.
This county, Fulton, heavily rural, elderly and white, went a particularly solid red. 84% voted Trump. They took a gamble. He'd deliver what he promised. Healthcare is his first big test.
After he came along and he started making sense about a lot of things that I've been thinking about for years and years, the changes that have to be done, I decided to change my politics from Democrat to Republican.
Trump care is moving in the right direction. I believe it will.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot better than Obamacare.
What was wrong with Obamacare?
Well, that's saying it was too high. A lot of people couldn't afford it, the way I understand it.
And Trump care says what to you?
It's supposed to come down. It's supposed to.
Now, a key pledge on the campaign trail in places like this was that promise to repeal Obamacare, the healthcare program that encouraged, some would say forced, millions of Americans to buy insurance, and that expanded Medicaid, free insurance for the most vulnerable through government subsidies.
Next is an executive order minimizing the economic burden of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act.
Republicans have long argued it was too costly for government and premiums were too high for patients. It was repealed on day one by executive order, but this month the president produced his own plan. We came to the Fulton Medical Center to see what they make of it. Just a decade old, it puts diagnosis, surgery, emergency services and an elderly care home all under one roof. Margaret Black has spent 3 months here. Do you know what the cost will be to you?
Not completely. I won't be able to. Well, I know I had 3 trips to Pittsburgh in the ambulance, so you figure that out. What's that, about $3,000 a trip? Yeah. 3,300 or something. I don't know what they did say, but it's going to be good.
Your work pays for your insurance. So
I pay part and my work pays part.
So that's a big help to you, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And if that was taken away, if your employer didn't have to provide insurance?
I would lose everything. I mean, I wouldn't have the money to pay it.
Anyways, you guys, I mean, that's kind of just to show you, that was 2017, and Trump hasn't really done that much. He keeps on saying to Chris Wallace in his interview in July, saying that he's going to have a new plan, which I've got the clip too for that, but I mean, we're kind of running a little bit out of time. But I mean, what do you guys think about this clip right here?
I mean, for me, I had 2 back surgeries in 2018, and I went on FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act, and 2 weeks after I came back, I got fired. And I was a federal contractor. So you know, it's not good. The cost, what the companies, when they kind of write you off because you've become too much of a liability. Yeah, there's just so many things wrong. It's not just the cost of healthcare. It's how we treat people. It's how we treat the people that need to be seen by the doctors in the hospital.
It boils back to when we came to America, we looked at people and we didn't think they were human. And this is very similar, that people like you should be treated the way, not that much differently than when the colonists came and decided, oh, let's just get rid of this.
Yep.
You know, it's like we've lost this. We're a country of not that much compassion.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've lost a lot of our humanity and empathy for
It's
others.
unbelievable. And that's why I like the Democratic Party, because theoretically, they come from a good place. And I think everyone tonight that's been speaking here we know your heart's in the right place. Can you say that about a Proud Boy? Can you say that about Trump or McConnell or what's Jim Jordan? I mean, the fact that this is who is running our lives, it brings me back to, I feel like I'm living in a horror film. It's a horror film.
I agree.
But also, like you said, Abe, I've talked to other people that, you know, are older than me, and they say the same thing. You know, they were around, some of them were around when Kennedy was killed. Like, they don't remember a time when not the gas wars of the 70s, they don't remember a time when it's been this bad overall. I mean, yeah, you know, we always had the civil rights movement. We always had these movements, but right now it's like we have very few parts that seem to be working together well right now. It's so
I think we're on the cusp. I have been saying this, Ryan. I know that you follow me and I follow you, but I up until this moment where, you know, Trump has been tested positive for COVID, I feel like everything has been leading up to a dictatorship. I really do. Everything that he says, everything that he does, all of his policies, not all of his policies, but I think he does policies to, you know, keep parts of the American public away from him, or they keep them like satisfied. But most of it, everything that he's been saying has been leading up to some sort of dictatorial leadership. And it's scary. It's really scary. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know if this is real with him with the COVID or not. I never would ever wish any harm on anybody, and I stand by that. But at the same time, you know, when you don't like, it's like teaching my children about, well, it's like if you do something, there are going to be repercussions of that action.
Right. I mean, just knowing,
like if you do this, then this is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's like teaching a child, but now it could potentially be a fatal thing. So,
I mean, just knowing that he had Mein Kampf was one of his nighttime reading books, which is what's been told along the way, that he's been kind of charting his kind of how he acts like a dictator. So he's put a lot of those mechanisms in place. So that's why we're all kind of feeling this sense of like,
well, he's desensitizing us. I've been saying it all along, desensitizing us, because if all of a sudden he just goes, oh, well, this, but if he keeps saying little things all along like this, and then he comes out with it, you're already like, you already kind of know in your head without actually drawing the line. It's desensitization. It's a common like dictatorial thing.
Well, I know 5 people that it's not working on.
No,
which is right here. But the other thing I'm hoping in terms of his like obsession with Adolf Hitler is that he has, if you think about it, if he owes $400 million and he loses this election and Melania is going to divorce him no matter what, he has really not that much of a bright future ahead of him, that he could use COVID as his way to leave the planet, because it doesn't seem like there's a big horizon as of, January 21st, if this is the way things goes. So I'd like to think that he's going to do the bunker, shoot yourself Hitler thing by just going into the hospital and like going out,
I'm going to say that I don't want to see this man martyr himself in any way. I don't know. I want to see him voted out, or the fact that we aren't talking about the 25th Amendment after that freaking debate. I just, Sorry, Dominic, you look like you were trying to say something, brother.
No, go ahead, Nikki. I'm fine.
No, you go. I don't have anything to say.
I just kept seeing him go for the screen like that.
No, I love hearing Dominic talk. I love hearing him talk. So please say something.
Well, actually, we gotta actually.
I know, Nikki. I saw the video that you put up of Donald Trump saying that, well, when we win another 4 years, we're gonna go for another 4.
For another 4, yeah.
You did something about. Yeah, I believe, didn't Nikki put up a video about that?
Yeah, I did. That's exactly it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I heard that today, and I was just like, I mean, he just wants to be a dictator. I mean, everything that he's been moving towards and telling his people is just to basically try to, put our country into, dictatorship and run it like that. And he doesn't care about anybody.
No,
he just wants to be a king. He wants to be able, the Trump wall. He wanted to build that wall so he could have something to say. This is my wall. Reagan said, "Take down the White House." He said, "Put up the wall." Huh? Yeah, they're not
the only president.
Needed a barrier around the White House.
He's the only president that has a wall around the White House. It blows my mind to think that he needs a wall because no other president needed to build a massive wall. And also, there's no president that went to hide in a bunker from their own people, from what I understand. I mean, no president has ever gone to the bunker. That's why he is the bunker boy. And all the Trump supporters, they always just try to copy us. When we say it's bunker boy, they say, oh, Biden was in his basement scared of COVID. Well, look, we got Trump with COVID now. I mean, Trump was making fun of him only 2 or 3 days ago. And it was like, he was 30 feet away and still wearing a mask.
Who's the smart one now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Biden is smart for not giving a handshake, for not doing anything.
I'm so glad he didn't shake his hand now. So glad.
Oh my God! When he tested negative, it was like that is good for the home team.
Test him like 3 times.
I'd be like this.
All right, guys. Well, I know we got to go. So thank you.
Listen, I just want to say, you guys, if you're not following me, it just won't be silent on TikTok.
Won't be silent.
Yeah, so we need to go around right now and tell everybody about our channel and what we do. One last time, my name is Bert, and I've been traveling the world for 10 years, and I made a YouTube channel about 1.5 years ago. All my videos are all about travel, non-political related stuff, but because Trump has done this since like March 2nd, I started making political videos and started talking about this stuff, saying how we should be wearing masks and saying, like, into March, I was telling people to wear masks. That was back when Dr. Fauci said we shouldn't wear masks. Yep. Apparently, Trump still thinks that Dr. Fauci says we shouldn't still wear masks. But Dr. Fauci now says since April, he's been saying we should all wear masks. So I don't know why he talked like that in the debate. But anyways, back to my thing. I'm a YouTuber, and I'm from California, and I've been living in China for 10 years, and I am almost at 10,000 subscribers. So anybody who is here that is not subscribed to me, please go subscribe to me because I've only got 70 to go until I've got 10K subscribers, and that opens up a whole new thing for me on YouTube because I can like post stories, and I can also go to the YouTube studio and use their equipment. So when you go subscribe to me right now, you really help me. So YouTube, Food X Bert. You can see it right here. It's confusing. Okay, so Food X Bert. You can find me on there. Okay, Dominic, you go next. You talk about your TikTok and your new YouTube.
So basically, my TikTok is basically just getting the word out to get Donald Trump out, telling people the truth, and just trying to give them a platform to talk. I do lives every night. I've been going live for the last 215 nights straight, from 10:30 to 12:30 East Coast. I haven't given up one night except night that someone got me banned, but I was still on for that night for a little while. But my room is basically for positivity. Express care and love and structure to everybody. We look out for racial injustice. Everybody that we give everybody a voice to come in and talk and just express themselves. We are a blue room, so we don't hang out with a bunch of Trump supporters come in and try to bash people. But I like to give support and somewhere for them to come and feel safe to talk about what they want to. We give out prayers to people that are going through some stuff. So if somebody has someone sick, we'll say prayers to them. We show love to everybody, and that's pretty much what I do. Getting Trump out of office is my main goal, but spreading love, positivity, caring is what I've been doing for everybody. So that's pretty much what we are. We call ourselves the X family. We started off at like 6-7 people. Now we're up to hundreds of people that come through my lives every night, and I know pretty much all of them. Pretty much all of them. I can remember people that come in from like 3 months ago, and I see the name come back, and I say, "Hey, long time no see," and they're like, "Oh, I'm just checking in. How you doing? I'm glad you're still going." And like I said, one of my people right now, her name is Cole. On TikTok, it's Cole 613 COLL 613. She's a nurse in Florida. She was. She caught COVID, and right now she's battling for her life. So, anybody that can send prayers out to her, we pray for her every night. She hit me up last night, and she said that, she was worried and that she might have to go on the ventilator. And so I'm just really stressed out about that right now. But, I put myself into a lot of people's lives because I want to try to help, and there's a lot of people out there that needs help right now. So that's that's kind of what I've been doing. But Trump out of office.
What's your YouTube? What's the YouTube thing?
It's at XYFCenter X.
Okay.
And Abe, let's talk about yours really fast, and then we'll go move to Ryan.
Yeah,
I love you,
I'm all about using the message of won't be silent. The quick story is I found this piece of music that was written in a concentration camp as a song of resistance to the Nazis. And I took this piece of music and I've turned it into an anthem for activism now. And I'm having all different artists reinterpret it and talk about what they won't be silent about. Because if you think about it, no matter what your leanings are politically, there's always something that's wrong with the system. Whether it's racism, women's rights, gay rights, healthcare, there's a list. And there's a song that kind of I'm using as the message that now specifically for whatever it is you won't be silent about, you better go vote, because that's the only thing you can do now. And then after the election, you see where the dust settles, no matter who wins, it's still going to be relevant. So that's my mission on mine.
And then we got Ryan here.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Shead. I got started you can follow me on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. It's all under @RealRyanShed. Ryan Shead, you'll find me. But more importantly, I'm trying to build my YouTube channel here. I'm up to like 360. So like Bert, I'm trying to get up there so I can open up some new opportunities for myself. But I built my platform mainly for a lot of the reasons same as everybody else, just to get people together, hopefully move us in a better direction, hopefully educate some folks with good dialogue. But the end goal for me is a place at the table in politics so that, we're not just sitting here talking. We need somebody in there that's going to fight the fight for us too. So, that's all I'm doing, and I'm doing good. I love talking to everybody. I learn so much from everybody, and I actually build my platform a lot off of what I hear from other people. So I really love it. Come follow me, come talk to us. And I love you guys. Oh, and to touch on what Dom was saying, my sign off, much with the love, which I think is awesome. We all have something to build off of love. I always sign out most of my videos off saying much love and keep fighting. And I say much love because as somebody with mental health issues, I didn't always have somebody there to tell me that they love me. And I say keep fighting because there have been times where I didn't have somebody there to tell me just keep fighting today. You know, tomorrow will be better. So when I sign off and I say that, that's what I'm saying to everybody, that I love you and I just need you to keep fighting and we'll get through this.
That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
NIKKINOO News.
Mhm.
Let's talk about your channel.
Well, I'm Nicole Williams, aka NIKKINOO. I am the biggest on TikTok, Instagram, and then YouTube. And I'm working with Ryan on Twitter now. He's like a bad A on Twitter. But so my whole theory is just, you know, it's political. I'm political, but I try and educate people politically, but also put some comedy into it to keep their interest, because let's face it, politics can be quite boring at times. So I try and, you know, kind of mesh the two to kind of get the word out across the board. So my YouTube channel is straight Nikki News, like the Nikki News show, or the Nikki News. And then Instagram is TikTok, and then my YouTube together. And then obviously TikTok, if you are on TikTok, you have 1 minute to get your whole length of thought out. So those are quick hitting, political, sometimes funny, but I'm also I love my followers, and I am so very dedicated to them because I wouldn't be here without them. So I'm very dedicated to my followers on TikTok as well as the political and the funny, and just sometimes just a rant. But so I kind of pull it all together. But I'm just trying to get the message out that right now at this time in our lives, it is so extremely important to get out and vote, and to really do your research, not just in the presidential election, but within your state. Because you need to know what is going on within your state when you vote. It's very important. So please do your research. Please, your voice matters, and please get out. Get registered first and make sure you know where you're going, if you can do early voting. My husband did a mail-in ballot. I personally feel better about early voting. So that's what I'm doing. And if you are one of those people where you find any resistance at the polls that Trump is trying to send out, call the cops, call the police. Hopefully they will respond and protect you so you can go in and have your voice heard.
Yeah, thank you guys very much.
Sorry.
Thank you all so much. This
You
was
guys are awesome.
amazing.
Thank you.
Anyways, you guys, we're going to say bye right now. And yeah, we can actually talk if you guys want after this, but we're going to say bye right now. And we're going to cut this live stream. Bye-bye, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching us. And make sure you subscribe to
so
my...
amazing. I adore this. This is great.
Much love to you guys.
I
Thank
feel honored.
Much love.
Thank you.
So do